Hey everybody, this is Tara Stark, and I'm here with Mr. Thomas Bailey Saunders V, and we are at the Twin V Ranch. And I know a few of y'all are logging on right now, and so we want to give you a moment to do that. But I'm honored and privileged to be here with Thomas, and you are now live with Tara. So here we go. We're going to dive right in. Let a lot of you know who Thomas is, how he is, and what he stands for in this little bit of time. For those of you that don't know, Thomas and I have known each other for about 32 years. I've been trying to figure it up. It was on a ranch in Land Passes, Texas, a long time ago, breaking colts and cutting horse business. And I remember a good old friend we had mutually, Mr. John Ed Rogers.
Old Silent John.
And so I just want to allow the people in the community and across the nation get to know who you are. And we're sitting here in your museum on the ranch. And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for coming. And it's always good to have somebody as nice and as pretty as y'all are to host a show like this. I think it's an interesting concept what y'all got going here and opening up people's homes. And thanks for being able to let us give a little bit of what we do out to people that may not know.
Absolutely.
But where we are sitting at the present is this was an old bunkhouse. First of all, this ranch was built or was bought in 1928, and my granddad was an order buyer there on the Fort Worth Stockyards Livestock Exchange, and so he started putting this country together in 1928, and he got it all put together by 1934. So we put right at 7,000 acres together during that time. And when he bought this place, it was off the McFarland family. And so when he got it all put together, he gave it a brand. So, you know, when you buy a place, you either buy a brand with it or you give it a brand. So my granddad, his wife's name was Virginia, and his sister was named Anita. So he took the two V's and he put one on top of the other and called it the Twin V.
I was wondering about that, where that came from.
Well, that's where that came from. And so we're real proud of the legacy that left and has led to. And this bunkhouse right here, this was a bunkhouse, and at the end of this row of houses was a cook shack. And so the hands stayed here, and then as years progressed, they built a camp down south here where they put single men down there, and they still use the cook shack. And then there's a meat house at the end of that row that's got that 1904 on it. It's got a big walk-in freezer in it. And then after they got the camp established down there, my grandfather turned this into kind of the Saunders, museum, and I don't hate for anybody to think we got a big ego, but I guess we do. It's just all about us in here and the ones that came before.
Well, and those of us that love it, we want to definitely hear and see all about it. You know, it's cool, really cool stuff. Really cool how y'all carried on the continuing the legacy, and you have, and your family has, and your mom.
Well, everybody doing pretty good. Being Thomas Saunders V, and I had all girls. You know, my dad asked me after I had that second girl, which I'm proud of both of my girls. He goes, "Well, what are you going to do about getting any boys?" And I said, "I'll show you how to get them boys." And he goes, "How's that?" And I said, "All you got to do is have good girls."
That's right.
You know, it really is. I mean, both of my girls rope and ride and run a crew, and I'm proud of both of them. Both of them's educated, and they're going to carry it on. Might have a different name, but they'll have hell chicken the one that I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this bunkhouse right here is full of basically 7 generations now of all of our folks. And a lot of really neat stuff in here. My grandfather did a lot of big things. He was vice president of Fort Worth Stock Show for a number of years, and then he also was the second president of the National Cutting Horse Association.
Right.
That's right. And, a lot of things to be proud of there. And if you ever get to feeling low or feeling bad about yourself, you can come in here and sit for a minute. See if to pick you back up and put you back in the race. But we've run livestock here. We got a cow-calf operation. Run about 350 cows and run, 6, 7, up to 8 loads of yearlings a year. And more than that in different places. But then we also keep 15 head of mares, and I run 2 studs and enjoying racing horses now.
Yeah. So you're real close to Weatherford, though. You're not very far out of town.
Well, we were pretty good ways from it, but it seems to be getting closer all the time now. We're kind of getting to be like just an island out here. Island of misfits, probably, I guess to say. But, they've sold some country through the years, and we still own or operate, 8,800 acres between here and Jacksboro, and then I'll go outside of the fold on when it looks lucrative to me and go to New Mexico. I spent some time up there the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's been pretty decent. Been off the drive there this year, but being able to keep this place and it's still an old outfit, and be able to come to keep it operable and keep it functioning. I owe a lot of credit to my wife for that. She's a art major from Baylor, and she has a really good feel for interior designing, and to be able to keep something old, to keep the soul in it, and be able to keep it new enough to keep it operable and functioning is a really true compliment to what she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. We live in Parker County, being so close to Fort Worth, and so many big ranches still exist, and so many cattle operations around. And so tell me about that heritage of what y'all created here and how you see that moving into the future and what changes you see in the industry.
Well, that's a heavy, loaded question right there, Tara. And moving forward, it's just constantly changing all the time. And, my oldest daughter graduated from TCU Ranch Management, and she's been beneficial. And then the youngest one graduated with honors from Tech, and there's a lot of intelligence there. But as far as the family business and the way that we run it, you have to be quick on your feet.
Yeah.
You have to really stay in touch with the market and the constant movement and volatility of it. We're selling cattle on the grid now, and things are just a lot different than they once were. But the basic formula for me is to take what knowledge I've been able to gather from the ones before me on how to take care of a ranch. And the cow-calf deal is pretty, it's been marginal here as of late, but it's really not the rise and fall of the everyday market that kills a cow-calf, man. It's actually, if you can get your cows paid for and you keep fresh grass ahead of them, and you're not thrown on the mercy of the market due to something catastrophic like a fire, a drought, or a pandemic of some sort, that's how you kind of stay in there. But you got to be able to be creative in the way that you market what you've got, and you have to be able to call an audible at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And, my oldest daughter is pretty much needs to be like this, and I'm not like that. We're going to go set out with this in mind, and that's the long range plan. But we got to be able to move left or right
in a hurry. Yeah. And be evolutionary.
That's true.
And so, because you're in it for the long haul,
right?
You're not going to make a decision because of one bad day to get out of the business. So, So it sounds like you're not just preserving the heritage, the Western heritage that you have in the way of life, but yet changing to evolving to make it relevant in the future.
It's true. And what to do with all of this, when you have a lot, then big things are expected from it. And, as far as people are selling and moving out, and a lot of those bigger places are getting broke up all the time. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but in my frame of mind, inheritance is really something that you just borrow from your children.
Yes.
So I kind of operated that way. I didn't want to sell this thing unless they wanted to buy it by the foot, and I could triple it somewhere else.
Sure.
So I keep that in mind, and then I also try to use, the innovative thoughts of the kids and their marketing, education, and what they've been given. They keep me pretty current.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun. I miss my dad, but it's been good to have the girls as well, because if I want to plot a course, they're pretty quick to make me just be in my position, which
It's awesome. Sounding board, and
yeah, I like the debate part of it. So,
Yeah. So you've created your own dynasty, your own legacy within the family as each generation has come before you. Are you proud of what you've done with what you've had?
Oh yeah, I'm blessed. I mean, I really am appreciative of the life that I was living.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's cool. Do you have any big visions and dreams to take it somewhere else and do something different?
Well, this place is so rich in heritage, and it's just so many memories right here. I always see these headquarters staying the same and a place to operate out of. And as far as what surrounds this hill here is always up for discussion.
Sure.
I don't want to cut myself out of any opportunities or cut my nose off to spite my face, but I'm always looking for a place to expand.
That's awesome. Positive, forward thinking. That's incredible. And so, you've been, like you said, blessed and fortunate and loved this life you've been lent, but yet you've created your story as you've gone through it. You've had your journey, and bringing your kids in, that just sounds like a cool next chapter, and involving them in a different way other than breaking colts. I mean, that's how I knew you, was breaking colts.
Right.
And so tell me about your horse operation here.
Well, we keep 15 mares. I was fortunate. We always had good horses, a lot of livestock, a lot of cattle, a lot of good horses here. My uncle had a world champion stallion named King's Pistol. And
Wow.
we sold a mare named Pistol 82B to the Bass brothers back there, and they bred that mare to Doc's Hickory and got Miss Silver Pistol. And you remember her?
Yes,
she
I
went
do.
over 540,000. Then they bred her to Playgun, and to Freckles Playboy, and got Playgun, which was a industry change and a real trendsetter, if you will. And so I've kept all of those mares, and then they've been good to us. And I was taught the reason that you have mares is one reason you can control your own genetics, and then they're raised in basically in the environment in which they're going to be used. So they're used to the habitat, the territory, and they're already acclimated. And then you ought to be able to do it cheaper, which isn't necessarily always the case. But I've hung on to mine just because all these pictures on the wall, basically.
Yes. I asked you earlier a little bit about the road to the horse, and tell me about that idea of co-producing that to start.
Steve Bland and Tootie and Steve Bland and I were watching the Pat Pirelli shows and doing all that, and I thought it'd be cool if they, if we put up a cavity of horses and make those guys pick out of there instead of just bringing their own or their canned
That's
act.
cool.
So that's how that started, and I guess that's been going on for I don't know how many years now. I got out of it about 5 or 6 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Went on to then we had the Horsemen's Reunion in California, which the Twistmans did, and I was part of that, which I was proud of. And a lot of good. There's a lot of talent here in this county, as far as horses go. And that's a wonderful thing to have all that as well. I mean, it's been that way for years and years and years, too. From Bonnie Hildreth to Ray Smith, all the way down through the years. There's just it's rich and steeped in a lot of good talent.
Yeah. you know, you have been on a ton of fronts of magazines. There's a lot of articles been written about you. I've seen you for years there was about a 10-year span there. I didn't get to actually see you physically, but that you'd appear in all of these books about the American West, and you were basically a cowboy model for the way of life, and used a lot that way. And then your horses have been used in a lot of films, so you became a movie star basically, and famous that way. So that was a whole nother leg of your history in your life. So talk to me about that.
Well, I was blessed that way, and I don't really know how that came about. And people thought I was a star then, but I think I'm kind of like a fallen star now. But just the same, we had a lot of fun with all that, and it came at a good time when cattle markets were not in our favor. It gave me another outlet to do a lot of different things, and made a lot of good connections there, and still are able to use them. And I always had a lot of livestock here, like I said earlier, and it just happened to fit for me. And when the cowboy thing went big, I was just in the right spot at the right time and blessed that way. Mm-hmm. So that was fun.
Yeah. Is that something you'd still like to pursue and do more of?
No, we still do some of it. We're still sending some horses out and some wagon deals and some of this and that and the other, and always keep the name out there, but I think you choose a little bit more selectively.
Sure, I get it. Yeah, who you align yourself with.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know, to me, you are an epitome of a true ranching cowboy. Do you see the cowboy way of life slowly a dying breed?
No, not here. I mean, and none of that stuff dying off around here. We still...
Texas is mighty big. Still needs a cowboy in it.
Oh, yeah. And the reason that we have horses is because we have cattle. That's a big difference. And people that's moved into county now, a lot of it is that they have cattle because they have horses. And I'm just the opposite. So it's harder to get insurance that way, but anyway, that's why we have it. And I'm proud of that part, so the cowboy comes first here, actually, and there's nothing better than watching a horse tell a cow what to do.
Oh, I know, I love it.
We can't do what we do effectively without having a horse in the equation there. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to have all that, and then I'm glad these girls are taking a healthy investment in that part as well, and then I keep good hands here. Usually if you got good horses, you'll have good health.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's another art all its own, and running a crew, and overseeing a crew, and being able to keep a crew.
Yeah, and it's been blessed to be able to basically, be raised in a circle that there was large herds of livestock, whether it be horses, cattle, as well as hands, so it all kind of goes in hand. And if you're doing it in harmony, then it's easy to do that way. And I was fortunate enough to come up through the years during my tutelage that, it all worked out well, and I learned a few things that really still, basically drives me every day.
Yeah, yeah. Is there something you would like people to know that they don't know about you?
Well, I'm probably a lot easier to get along with than I might come across sometimes. I'm easier going than what I think people know from seeing me sometimes. But I'd like for everybody to know that I'm always here, and I'm always willing to help, and always willing to share.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know I had wanted to come up to this place forever, all my life, driving by the times and the different times and through the last 20, 30 years of seeing this place set up on a hill and wanting to get up here. And so we were meeting over a piece of land and going to look at a piece of land, and we met up here, and you took me around and showed me the barn, showed me the house. And so that heart of yours, you got a big old heart. And
well, thank you. It's always fun to show off where you were raised.
Well, and we walked in the saddle room, and you knew the horse industry was a world of its own and a passion of mine, and I had let it go for the last 15 or so years. And so we walked in the saddle room. I had a moment.
Yeah, you did.
And it just hit me, and it was that way of life, and it was that spirit that lives and breathes on places like this, that when it's in you, it brings back out a passion that you're born with, I feel like. like, and that's who I was, and it's who you get to be every day. And so you were so gracious, and you just eased on and let me have my moment.
Well, it's good to know that we still got that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, soul is something hard to catch. And if you could can it, you could probably sell it for a whole lot. And then it's fun to be able to share that part.
It is.
And it wasn't just me
Yeah.
that did all that.
Yeah.
And then kind of like this room right here, all those memories that are, etched in stone through all the years and hard work and bad times as well as good times. I ain't really never had a bad day here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if you thinking about your legacy, there's so much about the legacy and the history of those before you and your legacy. What would you believe that you've left your legacy to be?
Well, I'd like to think that at the end of my tenure that I left it a little bit better than what I got.
Absolutely.
And that's, what I got to say. But
I think it's awesome. Here's what I'll say about seeing you and your family together. All of them, your mom and your sisters, and your wife and your kids. It's a really cool unit that was got each other's back and protect each other and ride for the brand. I mean, that's evident to me. And seeing that and the love of your place and the love of your history and the love of your family, and I'm proud of
well, I thank you for that. It means something. It takes everybody.
you.
My mother's she's 84, 5 years old and still cooking for 4 men 5 days a week. And we still have breakfast in the mornings at 6:30. And, that's where it all starts right there. You have to have that place that everybody gathers and gets a plan. And it really does give everybody a true sense of being a part of something.
Yeah.
That's just bigger than us.
Yes.
So that's wonderful to have. And I appreciate you bringing that up. And if anybody else would like to come out and visit or see some of it, it's all for free.
That's right. And the ranch actually has a Facebook page, and it is Saunders Ranch. And you can find them on Facebook. We had also posted a really cool video, and you can also find it on the Saunders Ranch page. There's some gorgeous shots of them branding just recently, and more of the history you can find there. And I know that they're proud of their legacy, as they should be. It's an honor and a privilege that you have trusted us to come in here and sit down and just have a short conversation and catch up with old times. I appreciate you so very much.
You're a real professional, Tara, and I appreciate the way that you conducted the interview, and I was glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, dear. So y'all catch us next time. And again, catch up with Thomas. Buy a few horses over there at Saunders Ranch.
You bet.